Beloved warriors, people of the heart, thank you for being here today. My name is Eulalia Lejoswava. I have a wonderful message I want to give to you. And I know many have also been feeling these things going on within the past week, within the past few days. I want to share my story, what I have also been going through. Leading up to September 21st, 22nd, if you are keeping up with the Schumann resonance, then you'll see that there was a timeline splits or jumps. There was also the partial eclipse, I believe a revival on a huge scale, because for these time leading up from August 27th and a week before September 21st and 22nd, I was already being led leading up to this event. I felt within myself that whoever and whatever I was no more. Even I no longer had my thoughts, my train of thoughts, the beliefs and the thoughts coming up from those things. It's like that ended. And I was even talking about this on Sunday, and I was telling my husband that I don't know what's happening, but whoever I was in the past is no longer a thing. I can't have the same thoughts anymore. I'm not there anymore. And I know that I'm supposed to get something new, like a new insight is supposed to come, but I'm in a void, in a place of like a dark waiting room or something, which is kind of what the timeline splits looks like. It looks like that dark band, and I'm just in no man's land. I'm waiting for a new mind. I'm waiting for new truths to come in, because everything of the old is passed away. It no longer is, and I can no longer live through that. Not to say that that was wrong, but something new is coming up ahead, and I said that I'm waiting for something new, but it hasn't come yet, and it's very uncomfortable. Have you also felt this uncomfortability, like, I know I can't go to the past. I can't be what I was. I can't think the same way. It's all done. It's old, even though that it was great, but it's past. It's old. And now I'm waiting for something new. We're waiting for something new, but it hasn't come upon us yet. I feel like the light has come more as of today, because I didn't even have any words to say. A video that I just released, it was a video that I had stored. I have a drive, a separate drive for my computer, and on this drive, I've stored so many memories, videos, pictures, many other videos that I have not posted yet. Yesterday, the 22nd, that external drive dropped. My computer can't read anything, and it says no media. This was the tipping point of everything that was building up within me. It was like all the emotions of everything going within the center of the volcano. I've been seeing that manifestation is occurring when you start aligning into the truth of all that is. Then as you align with it, you manifest it. You become a manifester. When you start to see things that are truth, whether they're good or bad. I say that way because the duality is leaving. The contrast is leaving. What we thought of right or wrong is leaving. Why? Because the old earth is leaving. Because that old self of duality, the earth or the world of duality is leaving. The old that is farther and farther going into the distance. We're coming out of the duality because we're coming into the will of God. And certain things have to happen what may seem like negative, what may seem like a big loss. I already felt that I was losing the old self, a prior identity. But then when that hard drive fell, it was the manifestation that it was really happening. It wasn't just something that I felt, but it was the physical manifestation, the sign that it was really happening. Everything that you think you are, your identity, and I guess at the end of the day, I was grateful, and I saw the wisdom of it, and I saw that it just had to happen. It was the last straw of the physical tie to the past that had to be broken, had to be cut. And in that cry of the heart that I had, it was not just about the identity of the past. It was about the cry of the earth, of children, of the innocent, of people, of unrighteousness, of the wickedness, of all these things. It was not just my identity, and it was not just letting go. It was the cry of the heart, the pain of the heart that was felt. And some people even say like the ascension symptoms during this time jump or time split was things of the heart, things of respiration. It was hard because it's like at the moment when you're going through all of this, there's nothing that you can say anymore. You can only allow to go through it. So I want to talk about this whole timeline split, and it was like a jump, and we're waiting for that reintegration. And I believe and I see in the spirit that the reintegration is coming into the truth, knowing the truth, living by that truth. So it's like a consciousness upgrade, coming into such deep authenticity. No more fakery. No more faking till you make it. No more fakery. No more of that pretending. Because that is the world having a new mind. Waiting for the truth. Not trying to figure it out yourself, but waiting for that truth to come and settle within you, to come into you, to integrate, and coming into your true identity and living from that. Because you know what it is, you feel it, you live in it, and now you start to act in it. So you start to act in your authority. The revival of identity, the revival of mind, the revival of even truer authenticity than we thought we were authentic. It's a calm knowing, a restful wisdom, abiding in that. It was breaking down every illusion to bring into the new, breaking down old paradigms. Stop fearing is major. The way from August 27th gateway to the 21st and 22nd of September now, if you also want to step into this breaking down of the illusion and coming into your new identity, you have to accept seeing the spirit realm. Because the kingdom of heaven on earth, for us to see what they call, seeing the 5D, living in the 5D is coming here and all of that. Whatever dimension you are going into, or you will see that dimension here on earth, you have to stop fearing seeing the spiritual stuff. That's why I just made a video before this one about your royal priesthood. And he is king. And we, the people of the heart, beloved warriors, the people of the heart, is a revival. He is our king. We have many names for God. We have many names, source, whatever. But there's going to be a new name. And I believe, because I've seen it, He's King. And it's going to be the people of the kingdom. The kings and queens of the king. The ecclesia, the rightful, the accordance of the good of all. God's will, with the highest good. In alignment with the highest good. Living in the highest good. That is living in God's will. The ecclesia is the government that live the accordance of the good of all. And the ecclesia, the government of God here on earth. You have to know who you are. That there is no fear. That there is nothing to fear. It is your home. It is your right to see the things of the Spirit. Are you going to allow darkness to rob you of seeing the things of the Spirit, the things of your home? Are you going to let them, because of fear, because you fear you might see the wicked thing or the scary thing or the fearful thing? But remember, you have not been given a spirit of fear. Why are you going to fear? Why are you fearing? The veil has already been broken on the cross. The veil has already been torn. Christ paid a big price for that veil to be torn. The only reason why we're not seeing that yet here in the physical, maybe you're starting to see it. Maybe you're starting to see it in the realm of the dream, of the spirit realm. Remember what I said, that the realms of the dream are merging, those different dimensions, the dream of the dream, and then your dream, and then this dream here, this lowercase reality, they're all merging into one. Those dimensions are merging into one. And you can see all of those dimensions here on earth, the kingdom of heaven here on earth. But before you see the king, because many people's eyes have been opened, and we know these stories. Their eyes is open, they see demons, they see evil stuff, they see very scary stuff, and they hide away for 1 month in their apartments or something before they venture out again. Don't let those things and the possibility that you might see those things. Because the kingdom of heaven, right, to see in the spirit realm, you can see this, it's like, it's still overlapping. And something that you've never seen before, it may look scary, but it's not scary. It's just because you've never seen it, because you're not used to it. So we have to stop fearing, because the kingdom of heaven is for us to see. You can see into that kingdom if you are not afraid, because you know who you are. You know you have the authority within you. You have the blueprint, that Christed blueprint, which is this armor, the armor of Christ. It's a force field. It's an energetic force field around you. That's your shield. That's your armor that you have on. It's an energetic force field. But the only way it's going to show itself or work is if you know, if you believe that. That's how the Spirit works. By the thought. God said, let there be light. But there's a translation, God thought. Before he even said, yes, word is important. But before there was word, there was thoughts. Before there was the Tower of Babel, before everything became words and miscommunication, there was thoughts. There was proper aligned communication with the heart. Telepathy. The true intention of the heart was communicated through telepathy, through the thoughts of the heart. And that's why we are now called the people of the heart, because we are coming back into that heart resonance. No longer thinking with this space up here, this split. The splitting of the heart was for us to come up here and have our consciousness through the brain, have our mind through this area, but the mind is here. The brain cells are here. And this is a better form, a truer form, a more righteous form. Did you get the call to stop fearing? during these past few days, this past few weeks, did you get the call, the question, the suggestion? Stop fearing. The intuition. Stop fearing. Let go of fear. Don't be afraid anymore. Because it's your home. The kingdom of heaven is your home. And just because you may see something that is scary, you know, there are many creatures that look scary in the kingdom of heaven, but just because you've never seen them before. Maybe you have seen them before because you remember. You're remembering. That's your true identity. Your spirit sees those things. That's why we're aligning with our spirit, with Christ's consciousness here on earth. This is what this revival is, this timeline split. Invitation to let go. You see, acting, playing a role, taking on an identity, wasting energy by pretending a playwright is all a playwright. Religion, actions, giving off your life force energy to a play of illusion and something fake. So much just wasted energy. Wasting your soul life force energy to worship, to put in your worship through your actions, through your words, through your songs. Worship that. But God is not in that. Remember what he said, that God, well, I've done all these things for you. And he said, I don't know you. Depart from me. Get away from me. I don't know you. Can you see how this is rattling? How hard to see these things? No matter what level we even think that we understand this. Oh yeah, it's an illusion. Oh yeah. But when you start to see it, you can't speak. You can't do anything. It's like the Neo and time is going past all around him. People are walking past time and zooming, and he's just standing there. Because he stepped out of time. He stepped into the eternal, and so are we. We're stepping into the present. We're stepping into the moment where every timeline is in one. All dimensions is in one, and you can do all things at one. And just like in the Matrix, then the movie, manifestation is a thought. In a thought. As you believe, as you think, so are you. There is also something that came with this, is a strong desire to see and live in the truth. I don't care what the truth is. I don't care if it's like this. I don't lose whatever you think is truth to gain the truth. It's very deep, and I hope you understand what I'm saying. There is such a strong desire to see and live in truth, no matter what that truth looks like. I mean, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Tired, exhausted. I just want to see the truth, and I just want to live in the truth. I don't care what that is. I don't care if it shatters whatever beliefs I may have. I just want the truth. That's the kind of primed that we need to be to come into that through the veil. Remember, this was, I think it was last March or some time ago, February maybe, January, February, March, I don't know, those 3 months, I made a video about this, the light of Christ, what it does, that we start to see, and I specified certain things that we will see, what it will be like living in the kingdom of heaven, but in a different dimension in the kingdom of heaven. And even in that dimension, other people are living there, but they're not living in the same dimension that you're living. So to them, things like Mandela effect is actually you in the other dimension manifesting and doing stuff because you are in the accordance of the good of all, God's will operation with the highest good. So therefore you can do things and make changes, and they're like, well, I've never seen this before. How did it happen? It seems like it happened overnight. The seeing colors that you never seen before. Hearing animals speaking, but like everything is harmony, everything is beauty and goodness. Remember, the accordance of the good of all, living in God's will, the kingdom of heaven on earth. Flowers communicating, flowers giving off, or plants giving off song, not the word music, but song. Seeing beings, others may call them maybe, I don't know, different creatures, extraterrestrials, they call them, but in this other dimension, there are like beings, like humanoid beings, and you're like, no, I don't want to see that fear. So it's like, but when you come to the place where I don't care, I just want the truth. I'm just ready for the truth. I'm just so over this world of fakery and illusion and just the opposite of not authentic. I just want to be out of that. Just tired and fed up with it, and I don't want anything to do with it anymore. And the point where you say, okay, I accept the truth, whatever the truth is. Because I know who I am, right? How can you do that? How can you not be afraid? Because you know who you are. If you're afraid, then you know you're protected. You know you have the armor, you have the shield, force field. The force field that nothing can penetrate you. You are manifesting your beliefs through thoughts. I have the force field on. We are of the Force, Jedi warriors, people of the Force. Of the good of all, the highest good, the highest intention. Hallelujah. So, seeing other dimensions, strong desire to see and live in the truth. You have a strong desire to see the truth and live in the truth, to see through the veil, to see in the spirit. No more fear. No more fear. How do they contain the masses? Through fear. What do they propagate over the media? Through fear or distraction. Get you busy with something besides work. The slavery system. It's not about doing. It's going to be about being. It's about being. Let me ask you, beloved of the Most High, let me ask you one question. If you were told, just say, hypothetically speaking, if you were told, hypothetically speaking, that nothing that you do matters. If someone said, and it's not about arguing with them and telling them off or anything. Just think about this. If you were told that nothing that you do matters, the question is, what would you do? Would you do evil? Or would you do something of the expression of your joy? Would you do something that you just love at your core? When you do that, you're living in love. Because really at the end, all that matters is, are you living in love? And joy comes from love. Joy is birthed from love. Language also is changing for us. It is not the cold language of the brain, but it is the language of the heart. And that means our language, our words change as well. Also, I've seen throughout these days new inventions. We've come into a time of new inventions, wonderful inventions, good inventions, helpful inventions for the good of all, for the liberation, for the freedom of all, many good inventions. And because it was not yet time, the inventions had not flowed in yet, but that whatever was opened up within the past few days, that timeline jump that happened, there are going to be many new inventions. And I actually started to dream of this new invention, and it was kind of like a simulator. It kind of looked like a little coffee machine, and it had a cup in it, and it created some kind of like drink, but the drink wasn't just like a drink. It wasn't just like a physical 3D realm drink. It was like carbon. I know it was made up of like some kind of atoms, and one of the main ones I think was carbon, and it was like some kind of drink that sustains the body, that is like nourishment and balance, because the food of the world, it unbalances the body, it unbalances therefore the soul, because the soul is connected to the body. As the soul is, the body will also feel. So, but when on the outside it works as well, when we eat certain things, it actually affects the emotions, because the soul is your mind, your will, and your emotions. So it affects all those three things. But this drink was, it was like technology, but I know even the word technology, I don't even like to hear, because I automatically think of, oh, technology, bad. But this was like invention, okay? There's a nice word. This was invention for the good, for the liberation, for the freedom, for the balancing, for the restoration, for the harmonizing of the body. And it wasn't just a physical thing. It was like science-y. It was, metaphysical. It was metaphysical. That was an invention that I saw. So if I saw the download, I'm sure someone who has the means and the ability to create something like this will create it. That would be nice. And it was kind of like you don't hunger. There's no hunger. There's perfect satiation. There's perfect balance. There's perfect calm. There's perfect alertness. There's also something else coming through about the water of life. Christ said, the water that I give you, you'll thirst no more. The bread that I give you, you'll hunger no more. I am the bread of life. Drink of me and you'll thirst no more. The waters of life, because lately I had the prayer come up. I don't like to use the word prayer. I don't know what is wrong with that word, but it's like the intention. I had the intention come up, the desiring with the will of God, because like when we desire something, or when we have a certain petition or an asking, and we speak of that asking, we are speaking from the will of the Father, that our heart is aligned with the will of the Father. So therefore, we automatically start to have that petitioning of our heart intention with our speaking according to His will. And when we ask according to His will, it will be done because we are aligned with the highest good. We are aligned with God's will. We are aligned in the accordance of the good of all, and therefore we are the manifesting of that. You know, he is like the prophets. He waits for the prophets to say so that he may carry it out through. What was before is nowhere near enough anymore. What used to be is not enough. We need new. We need the new. We need people to start speaking of the new that is right now and come out of, because that also was, there was a level of unauthenticity in that. You know, we're leveling up in more and more and more authenticity, and we've just come into a greater even authenticity. And even looking back from the split that just occurred, there was a time split. There's the old, and now we've come into something very new. And who was it? Nostradamus. He called this the Great Division. 2025 September, this great division, the start of this great division. And you think of the great division, what do you think of? You think of the harvest. It's September. It's the harvest. It's the harvest of the wheat and the tares, the division. Who's gonna go forward? Really, what that looks on the time, on the path that we were walking, it looks like coming to an end. On that path, it's cut. It's black. There's nothing there. It's blackness. You can't, from higher perspective, what like that looks like is that slit, that black line in the Schumann resonance. But from the lower perspective, it looks like us walking on the path and coming to an end, and there is just void and darkness. That's what like that timeline split looks like. But the way, see, there's no bridge. There's no bridge across it. You have to accept these truths. The question is being asked to us in our heart. Whether you're aware of it or not, every person answers that question. Do they want to come into, are they willing to be uncomfortable, to let go of everything that they thought was familiar? The righteous path, are you going to keep going on the righteous path? Are you going to accept letting go of fear for the truth? And it is kind of an ascension, because you're ascending with the highest consciousness, Christ consciousness, and then you'll find yourself on the other side of that path, through that big black void of time. And now we've just come into something new. That's why I say a week ago, it was just a week ago. How is it not relevant anymore? Because of the time split, the drop off. Even those things are of old, and you feel it. For the people that are still in that timeline, it may still feel relevant because they're still caught up in the timeline. They're still in that old timeline. It's for them. Baba Vanga, also 2025, after August. And people thought it was going to be in August, but it's after August. And she said this: truths revealed that the world will struggle to accept. Are you willing to accept the truth, no matter what that truth is, no matter how much it breaks down your beliefs or what you thought, or the paradigms or the programs or the constructs or your identity? Are you willing to let go of that? To be in a very uncomfortable place that you don't know your own self anymore. You don't have the same thoughts anymore because your thoughts have been cut off, because that's the old self. Now you're going to get new thoughts. Now you're going to get the integration of truth. And many people believe that these truths that will be revealed, that it will be a struggle to accept for the world, disclosures, so many things, that I'm not saying it's not right. Of course, many truths are being revealed that the world is struggling to accept. But what if it's even more inside, at our core, within? Truths revealed. What if the truth that is going to revealed is going to come to us? We're coming into a new mind. We're coming into our truthful identity. Maybe that is also the truth. Maybe those are the truths that will be a struggle for us to accept. Or maybe it's the things before the truth that many things are fake. Very few people are living from the heart. Many are living through fear. Those are also truths that the world will struggle to accept. Remember, she said after August 2025, this is just what I've experienced. These truths, these rattling, eye-opening, shaking even further to the core truths. The loss of self, or whatever you think self was, your identity, the old mind, old thought patterns, a phase in between the old and the new. Have you been feeling through a phase, like a numbness even, knowing that you can't go back? There's nothing to go back through, and even kind of having an anxiety about the future, because if you're in a timeline split, if you're in the split, if you're traveling through the split, across that path, across the void of that timeline split, right? It's an uncertainty and there's an anxiety about the future because you don't even see the future yet, because you haven't come into the future yet, because you don't know what the future is. You've come to the end of the path and there is no more future. You have to jump. You have to leap across. You have to travel upwards into the highest consciousness, connect with that, so then you can come across onto the other side into a new timeline, into a new future. But in the moment of that phase, you don't even see a future. There is an end of one thing, and I cannot go in as the same person anymore. I just cannot. And there is a kind of rebellious feeling even about this, rebelling from the things of the world, from the addictions of the world, from the distractions of the world. There's like a righteous anger even about it. Because in that split, in the phase of you entering into this new future Christ consciousness here on earth, the flow of your thoughts may have halted, have gone, because your old self is no longer. You cannot take your old self with you in the future. This was a huge thing that I felt in the moment of the cry of my heart. I don't know what the future is. I mean, we read about the future, blah, 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 the Bible says these things and this is what it will be and all this. But when you're going through it, there is no feeling. I cannot see where's the future, because we were in the moment of that timeline split. We were in the void. We were in the blackout. Within. And when my external hard drive of all the videos that I have done many weeks before wiped out, it was just this really hard letting go, loss, because I had very beautiful videos. And looking back, I already knew that it was going to happen. Because every time I would post something, it's like, post the others, post the others. No, I can't post the others for one or the other reason. And now they're all gone. So the Holy Spirit was already telling me, I can see that that was going to happen. So it really was a strong confirmation that everything of the past is gone. And it was not just those messages that I had, stored on that external drive. It was family, it was pictures, it was videos, it was babies, it was many, many memories. It was identity of who you thought who you thought you were. It was a hard slap of realization that that is all past. And in that cry, it wasn't just that. It was the cry of every injustice happening in the world. It was the explosion of a volcano within us. So the question is, will everything in the whole world be also wiped out? That is the question. Everything that you know, if it wipes out in the world, how are you going to feel about that? How are we going to feel about that? That's a very clean slate. Everything seems old, outdated, done with, boring. Same old fakery, acting, seeing through the illusions. The world is in the past and the world is passing away. Have you been feeling like a volcano of emotions or thoughts or letting go, releasing, the volcano of releasing, purging, the mourning, waiting for reintegration of a new mind, new thoughts, which is the truth,